What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Attic. This week, we're here to look at the models' predictions and wagers for UFC Fight Night Murphy versus Evloev. But, as you guys know, we got to start off by reviewing how we did last week. I did mention this last week, but this time it's actually added into the bankroll. So we do have a $10 birthday bonus that's going to go towards our unit size this week. Next, we get into the fights. We started off with LFA 228, where we went 3-2 on predictions for a profit of 0.65 units. Next up, we had one Fight Night 41. There were only 2 fights on this card that we could bet on, and we went 1-1 for a profit of 0.5 units. This right here is a perfect example of why we use the strategy of betting more on confident predictions. Finally, we had UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Vallejos. This card was absolutely incredible for us. We turned a profit of 11.68 units for a 20.85% ROI. Finally, we wrap up the bankroll with the weekly bonus as always. This time it was $3.05, closing out our bankroll at $905.94. First time capping $900. Very excited about it and really looking forward to that $1,000 mark. One unit this week will be $9.06. And as we expect on the UFC cards, a lot more of our bets will be at 1.5 units, which is $13.59. Now that we know where the bankroll stands, let's get into the fights for UFC London. This card starts off in the women's bantamweight division with a bout between Luana Carolina and Melissa Mullins. I've gone 50-50 on wagers for these two, winning betting against Luana Carolina and losing by betting on Melissa Mullins. My total loss here is just under 1/3 of 1 unit. This time around, the models are very split, but we will again be taking a stab at a Melissa Mullins win. She is a -105 underdog, practically a pick'em, and I risked 1.05 units on it. Next up, we'll drop down a little bit to women's strawweight for a fight between Ravina Oliveira and Chanel Dyer. Only one fight on this wager history, but it was correctly predicted for a half unit of profit. This time, the models are very wide, all the way from 51% to over 70%, but they do all agree that Chanel Dyer should take this one down as a -450 favorite. This bet cost me 6.75 units. Our first men's fight of the night is a 155-pound battle between Shamrock and Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi. Al-Sawadi has yet to make it to a fight that we wagered on, but we have still yet to bet on him. Shamrock, on the other hand, lost the fight as we expected, turning us a profit of 0.65 units. We've got to bet on someone this time, and it looks like it's going to be Shamrock. All 3 models are in the mid-50s, and we picked him up as a +105 underdog for 1.5 units. Moving up to men's heavyweight for a bout between Mario Pinto and Felipe Franco. All the wagers have been on one side of this, and they have all been in favor of Mario Pinto, turning us a profit of nearly 1 unit. Nothing new here. Mario Pinto is a massive -900 favorite, and all 3 models predict him to win. This is quite an expensive wager. It cost me 13.5 units in hopes of returning 1.5 in profit. Down at middleweight, we've got a fight between Montas Kondratavicius and Antonio Tricoli. Not a lot of wager history here either, just a single bet against Tricoli as a massive underdog, which cashed for 0.91 units of profit. As far as the models are concerned, Tricoli should again be a massive underdog. Contra Davicius is very much favored by all three, so I picked him up for 10.5 units as a minus 700 favorite. Jumping straight back up to heavyweight for a fight between Brando Perisic and Louis Sutherland. Again, a fight with very little wager history. We bet against Louis Sutherland, and he turned us a profit of what's now 0.72 units. This time around, we picked up Brando Perisic at minus 270. All three models are moderately in favor of him, all above 60%. This one cost me 4.05 units. In our first of 4 featherweight bouts, we'll see Lucena Keita taking on Nathaniel Wood. We've got one wager on Nathaniel and one against him, both of which he ended up winning, so we've gone 1-1 for a 0.82 unit loss. In this fight, we took a wager on Lucena Keita, all three models sitting right at 65%, very consistent. At the books, he's a minus 220 favorite, so this wager cost me 3.3 units. Our next bout takes place at lightweight between Mason Jones and Axel Sola. We've gone 3 for 3 on wagers here, betting on these fighters every single time. We've made a profit of just over 1 unit. This coming Saturday, my money will be on Axel Sola as a plus 110 underdog. I risked 1.5 units, and I will return 1.65 units with a win. Our main card opener is a featherweight bout between Danny Silva and Curtis Campbell. We've got 2 wagers involving Danny Silva, 1 for, 1 against, and we cashed betting on the favorite both times. In total, we've made a profit of $4.82. This time, we'll be betting on Curtis Campbell as a minus 200 favorite. All three models do agree, but not a single one of them caps 60%. I risked 3 units on it to return 1.5 units with a win. Next up, we'll see Christian Leroy Duncan take on Roman Dolidze at middleweight. This fight's got a pretty decent amount of wager history where we've gone 4-1, but we've only turned a profit of about 1/3 of 1 unit. This Saturday, I'll be betting on Christian Leroy Duncan. He's a minus 450 favorite, and since all three models agree, I risked 6.75 units. The only light heavyweight matchup on this card will be a battle between Austin Lane and Iwo Baranowski. We've got perfect wager history here across 3 fights, betting against Austin Lane twice and betting on Iwo the other time. In total, I've turned a profit of $11.77. Nothing changes this weekend. I'll again be betting against Austin Lane, and my money goes on Iwo Baranowski as a minus 550 favorite. I put 8.25 units on the line in hopes of returning a profit of 1.5 units. The feature bout on this card is a welterweight matchup between Michael Venom Page and Sam Patterson. We've gone 50-50 on wager history here, still turning a small profit of 51 cents. In this weekend's fight, I've taken Sam Patterson as a plus 145 underdog. All three models like him in the low 60s, so I risked 1.5 units. Our co-main event is a featherweight bout between Michael Aswell Jr. and Luke Riley. I've bet on both of these fighters in all of their previous bouts, only losing once on Michael Aswell as a plus 300 underdog. In total, I've made 0.96 units of profit between these two. This weekend, I can only bet on one of them, and that will be Luke Riley. He's a minus 300 favorite at the books, and all three models prefer him to win, so I risked 4.5 units to return 1.5 units with a win. We'll be closing out the night at featherweight between two top contenders, Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev. Evloev's been away, so I have no wager history for him. Lerone Murphy, on the other hand, I've bet on twice as an underdog and a favorite, cashing both of them for $9.74 of profit. I'll be closing out my night rooting for the underdog because the models favor Lerone Murphy at plus 187. They aren't super confident, but it doesn't take much for an underdog. I risked 1.5 units and I can return 1.7 units with a win. That's it for this weekend's predictions. Let's flip over to the totals and see how much of the bankroll is on the line. UFC Fight Night Evloev versus Murphy has 14 fights, and we placed 14 wagers. 9 of those wagers were on favorites, all 9 of them agreed upon by all 3 models. The other 5 wagers were on underdogs, 4 of those being confident, all of them being plus money. In total, I risked 67.63% of the bankroll with a potential profit of 22.7 units for an ROI of 33.57%. After what feels like years away, PFL is finally coming back, and this card looks like it will have plenty of opportunity on it. If you're interested in those predictions or any other major promotions, check out the Patreon link in the description. If you want to talk about other fight stuff, sports books, and wagers, check out the Discord. That's all I've got for you for now. Thanks for watching, and good luck on all of your bets this weekend.